Hey guys, Canebrake Charlie here. I've taken a trip back to the human world. I'm here in a neighborhood in New Orleans. This neighborhood has a beautiful design to it. They have these grassy common parkways in between the houses, if you can see. So all the houses are built facing a common park with beautiful big live oak trees, and kids can play in this area and people can walk on the paths. Of course, the houses are private property, but this interior space, this park, is public. It's a commons, you might say. So I brought you here because I wanted to give a little lecture on the subject of morality. So, what maintains this space? Rules, contracts, norms. There's certain things you can do here and things you can't do here. All this is regulated, if need be, by lawsuits. But this is, of course, an old tradition. Having common spaces and having rules about how to use things in common, about what's yours and what's mine. So we think of that as an extension of morality. So morality to us, because we come from this sort of legalistic tradition, seems to us like a set of rules. But if it's a set of rules, it doesn't make sense for it to be eternal. And we always want something about morality to be eternal, enduring. But we notice that the rules of morality change from year to year, and decade to decade, and century to century. So the things that were permitted in the past are no longer permitted, and new ways of being are encouraged by the continual drift of morality. So I thought about this problem for a long time, and I found that it was really hard to explain morality in terms of rules. So it doesn't make sense that a biological system like ourselves would adhere to eternal rules, because the only eternal rule in nature is change. Everything changes, everything evolves. So there must be some way morality is a capacity we have that assists us in changing and evolving. Otherwise, we would never have come to embody it with our cognitive system, with our frame of mind. So the insight I came to was that morality is actually more, could be better conceived of as a technology. So we use technology to build things out of inanimate material, right? Cars and so forth. You can see cars and street lights and buildings. These are all things that we consider technologies. So technology is ways that we've worked out of making use of inanimate material. So if you think of morality as ways that we've worked out of making use of humans, of exploiting humans in the most sustainable way possible, getting what we can from humans without hurting them, without destroying them, without depleting the opportunities that we might have to gain things from them and again in the future, then morality begins to make sense. because it's something that moves and changes as we discover new things about people. We discover that certain things harm people and other things help them. And we discover ways of being able to consistently help each other and consistently avoid harming each other. And those things on the surface, they look like rules and contracts and guidelines. But they're always changing because we're always discovering better ways to live together, to work together. And that set of rules is just something we're using as a temporary crutch to help us get in sync with one another. It's another form of structural coupling. So structural coupling is getting in sync with your environment, right? So that's not just the water and the land and the air. That's the people. That's the people around you and everything they do. What's mine and what's yours, and how do I use this and how do you use that? Can I live here? Can I have this? Or is this yours? Or can we use it in common? So morality is really an ever-moving frontier, just like the technological frontiers of the things we build. And if you think of it this way, then it begins to look like a part of a living system.